Brodes Media.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brodes. I'm a little disappointed that I have to record this show on a day where they lose and when Zack Wheeler looked that crazily off. I mean, he's throwing pitches 8 feet into the left-handed hitters. That's how awkward and uncomfortable he looked out there, and that is just not the norm. We'll get more into that, but I actually enjoyed myself on Friday night watching Kyle Schwarber hit 2 nukes and watching JT Realmuto get in on the action as well all weekend long. That play by Rojas with JT's tag when he jumps 75 feet in the air and still applies it. Now, truth be told, it was a garbage slide, and if he utilized his legs instead of his hand, then more times than not, he's in there. But the truth is, JT Realmuto is a freak athletically. That still shows. And truth be told, I think he actually has more offensive girth right now. More offensive pop than I ever thought he'd have. I thought at this point he was cooked. I thought at this point he was fried. And he just got to live with it. But out of nowhere, he got a new wave. And there's some resurgence, which goes hand in hand with some of the comments made by Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thompson over the last few weeks, which is we can't fix all the problems at the deadline. So something that must go down is we need to look within, and we need guys to step up, and we need players that are already in this clubhouse to do something that they haven't done yet this season. And JT Realmuto has grabbed that by the horns, and he's going full throttle, and it's really damn fun to watch. So I think that's why I have my needle moved over the weekend a bit, because I saw something that I never anticipated, which then makes me wonder and speculate how this could go if Dave Dombrowski actually knocks this out of the park by Thursday. And there's so many things leaked. There's so many different hypotheticals out there, and Suarez would be awesome to acquire at third base, but then what do you do with Alec Boehm? Okay, you put him at first, and then Kyle Schwarber plays left, but then where does Bryce Harper go? He's not just going to DH. There's no way in hell Bryce Harper is going to DH when he is healthy enough to play the field every day. If it's last case scenario, fine, but not if he is available and can be active. He's going to want to be on the field. So then does that work the Nick Castellanos trade rumors into the mix? And now you have Bryce Harper going back to right field, which then makes things more intriguing and the puzzle pieces align. I don't know. I mean, I'd be stunned if it was that many moving parts, and I will have to wait to see it to believe it. But I'm starting to wonder if that's a route they're going to go. And I'm starting to wonder if the reason why Nick Castellanos didn't play on Saturday is because he was pissed off that the trade rumors were potentially true. I'm starting to wonder if his first at-bat on Sunday when he hit a bomb was almost a flip off Rob Thompson and flip off Dave Dombrowski. The problem is he ended up having hot garbage right field play again, along with Rojas, which screwed Zack Wheeler, but Wheels didn't have his best stuff anyway. It's strange, the Zack Wheeler performances that we've gotten over the last few starts. I wonder, and this is me, see, I hate that this is where my brain goes, but I don't lie about how I feel. On Saturday night, since the Phillies played a 1 o'clock game, I was able to catch some of the national Fox broadcast, and I even caught some MLB Network Seattle Mariners, Los Angeles Angels as well. So clearly I'm in the back half of baseball mode, and I'm feeling the intensity of the crowds on a night-to-night basis, and it just feels more important now. So I'm starting to get engaged with outside of just Philadelphia Phillies baseball, truth be told. But one of the things they were saying on the Fox broadcast, John Smoltz was saying this, and that was, you see the Dodgers, the current state of their pen right now. This is the price you pay when you put a lot of wear and tear on guys to go after it all and to win a World Series. And, you know, you got to do whatever you got to do to win, and then you pay the price later. Well, there is just something that I'm wondering with Zack Wheeler, which is you're going to the World Series pitching a ton of innings. You're going to the NLCS pitching a ton of innings, being the workhorse. Even in this outing, he doesn't even go through 6, but he's throwing over 100 pitches. So last year in the NLDS, not that that's very far into the playoffs, but over time, you add all of that up. And is that why this second half he is having uncharacteristic type starts? Or it's straight up just he needs to get out of this funk? Because my mind always goes to, are they able to physically handle the workload that they currently have on their body? That's my number one staple, my number one go-to whenever somebody doesn't live up to a standard. With Jesus Luzardo, last year it was about 66 innings. Now I'm wondering if there's a correlation. Ranger Suarez, second halves in previous seasons, he had a stinker his first go-around. He did better his second go-around in the second half. It wasn't great, but it was good. It was good. It calms my nerves, okay? It doesn't add on to the nasty first start he had in the second half. It calms me down a bit, so it's trending in the right direction, but that's where my mind goes. I'm wondering with Zack Wheeler, you're hitting guys, you're looking so out of whack. Now, truth be told, he is so elite that he does find ways to keep you involved in a game and keep you, in the mix and in the fight. But the reason why we feel this team has a legitimate chance to win in a 5-game series and obviously in a 7-game series is because Zack Wheeler, the fucking workhorse dominant dog, is on the mound. Not the guy that's just going to keep you in the game, especially when you have the lead early. I was about to tweet, with what Otto Kemp did, with what Nick Castellanos did, I'm thinking, good luck, Yankees. You suck. There's no way you're going to come back in this one. You gave Zack Wheeler some wiggle room. You gave Zack Wheeler some breathing room. You're fucking dead. But I was wrong and stunned by it. Now, here's the reality of the Yankees. The Yankees are hot garbage. They're bad. Since June 13th, which, by the way, we're creeping into August now, but since June 13th, they are so bad that only the Washington Nationals has a worse record than them since that date. So I asked myself this question. If it was the same outcome and it was the Nationals instead of the Yankees, would I feel different? Yes. Does that logo, for some reason, add more value? That stadium, Yankee Stadium? Yes, because I think that there is an intensity that the Yankees know that they got to play with piss and vinegar to answer the critics and to prove people wrong and to get this right, and they couldn't. They cannot get this right. In fact, I saw piss poor defense again. I've heard Yankees fans screaming from the top of their lungs about how dysfunctional they are and how they can't play fundamental baseball. And okay, then I watched it for 3 straight games. Holy hell. Goldschmidt at first base throwing the ball 8 feet wide at home. Gross. Then you got Volpe and Jazz Chisholm with the middle infield with a combined, 25 errors or so on the year. And this is in a world where they barely count errors. So realistically, it should be 50 for both of them each. But they barely call errors anymore. So to have that many between those two is laughable. And then I constantly hear about Jason Dominguez and how in left field it's an experience where it looks like he doesn't know how to run. He doesn't know how to play the position whatsoever. And every time there was a fly ball to deep left field, I'm watching him do these weird steps and his weird ways to get to the ball. And he's going backwards. He's going left. He's going right. The ball's going the other way. He'll make the catch, but he does it in such a strange way. It doesn't even feel natural. And on top of that, you had to deal with losing Aaron Judge, which the game they won was the game where Aaron Judge didn't start the game. Although on Saturday, I don't think he was in there either, was he? But you had speaking of injuries, Sosa escaped one that could have been bad. JT Realmuto looked to be flexing his forearm or so during one of the at-bats. Look, this is the time of the year. This is where things become a grind. This is where things weigh you down. This is where things take its toll. It's stretch time. But you're banged up. You got to make it through. That's what separates you from the rest. is being able to maintain, being able to manage, and then having guys step up if they need to. This is a big Thursday for Dave Dombrowski. I have no idea how they're going to do this, and I've been pretty consistent with this message. I don't have a feel. And it bothers me that I don't have a feel because I think it's so obvious what they need to do. For a while, I've been running my mouth saying they're not even worth trying to build around at the deadline, or that's probably the wrong way to say it, but I just thought they were so flawed. Not that you don't make moves, because you always make moves when you're in this position, but is it worth pushing all your chips in for this particular group, knowing how flawed they were? But the truth is, go back and look at all the prospects we have traded over the years. Go back and look at what Ruben Amaro did, right? And John Middleton, the sad statements that he made recently about not wanting to go after Hunter Pence, not wanting to add to that pitching staff. And I mean, it's just a ludicrous loser attitude that he gave. Go look back at some of those trades. How many all-star superstars did we give up? Listen up. These kids, 99.9% of them are going to be stiffs. So knowing that, what the hell? What the hell? There is a world where 5-6 years down the road, you have more prospects in the tank, in the holster. Over these next few drafts, you lock them up. And you do the same damn thing that you did when Dave Dombrowski got here to build the current prospects that are in the system now. Just do it again. It wasn't that hard. Dave Dombrowski did it. He took over. He did it. Boom. Now we have these prospects. Do it again while making trades. I just watched the Yankees go after a third baseman because they badly needed it. I'm watching the Yankees make decisions and still add. Now, I think they are extremely flawed. I think they're extremely injured. I think there's a lot going wrong with the Yankees, and I don't look at them as a serious threat or a serious contender, regardless on what their offensive stats are and what their record is and all that stuff. I don't care. I don't see them like that. But they can constantly add to their roster and go get a serious defensive third baseman who is probably better than what he's been giving you offensively this season. He's probably better. He had that rope down the first base line that helped clear the... Oh, no, it didn't clear the bases because there was some weird base running. Because, again, the Yankees are just not a smart team, but it's what you do. It's just what you do. So the fact that it's a coin flip on how in they are and how splashy they're going to be, it shouldn't be a debate. It shouldn't be 50-50. It should be 95-5. But instead, it's a coin flip. They may go random right-handed bat that is a nobody and a reliever. Or they may go after Suarez and get one of the big fish. He stinks defensively, and if Bohm's playing first, that's a really bad corner infield. And Trey has been a lot better this year, but you never know. That random hiccup could come up at any point. But is that the best to maximize the now? Just interesting. You know what else is interesting? How great these Emilio cigars are. When I tell you, my favorite time of the day is when I put the kids down, I do my episode, my podcast, and then I get to go out back and relax and just puff on an Emilio cigar and enjoy the summer nights. Before you know it, it'll be football season. Then I'm going to be enjoying victory cigars after the Eagles win nonstop. But as for now, it's the summer night Emilio cigar. And there's only one cigar to smoke. So whether you're going to a family function, whether you're just hanging out by the house, whether you're going golfing, there's never a bad time to bring out the Emilio cigars. This is what's great about them. They got old school roots. They got new school attitude. They're locally owned, third generation, made at the Fábrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. So this is as real as it gets. And you can click the link down below in the description. Go to their website, use promo code Brodes10 for 10% off your purchase. It's a no-brainer. You can also go to your local tobacco shop and say, hey, you guys got Emilio cigars? Bada bing, bada boom. They'll help you out there as well. But do not be a fool. Make sure you join the Emilio Cigar family today. You know, this whole Kyle Schwarber thing is crazy, isn't it? We knew he was good, but somehow he's even turned it up a notch. And that's what winning players do at this time of the year. I think that's a key part of this too, is it's go mode. It's winning time. It's serious, put it into gear type of time. And that's what the greats do. Kyle Schwarber's even playing left now. What was it, that first inning where he's falling backwards by the warning track and cracking up laughing? That was after the ball found him earlier in that inning as well. I do find it fascinating that they're trotting him out there and left, and you could say all you want that, well, they wanted to get Trey off of his feet but keep his bat in the lineup and this and that. I'm smelling that something is going on here. So I guess going back to my 50-50 thing, if I'm smelling something's up, then maybe it's 60-40. I don't know. I find it strange. I find the Nick thing strange, that he didn't play on Saturday, but he played on Sunday. A jam knee, my ass. I'm not buying it whatsoever. I think there's something weird going on. That doesn't mean Nick Castellanos is getting dealt, because I think that is a very difficult thing to do at this particular time. I think that's more of an offseason move with 1 year left on the deal. But if Dave Dombrowski is going to make the puzzle pieces fit, and Suarez is a high priority for them, there's only a few things that can follow that to make it all click. So I'm just monitoring it from a distance, that's all. One thing I don't want is I don't want to do the O'Neal Cruz thing. I don't want to do the Luis Robert thing. Now, the price for Luis Robert may be so tiny at this point because obviously it's another down year, although his last 30-something days, I guess, baseball reference, it's not as bad as the actual batting average says, but if his batting average is barely over 200 and he's hitting well over the last 30 days, then how bad was it prior? I don't know. I'm not watching Luis Robert on a day-to-day basis and watching Rojas at the plate. Now, Saturday had a really good at-bat with bases loaded where he worked a walk after already getting screwed in that at-bat. You would think maybe he would start to chase because he would get uncomfortable and know that the ump is blind behind the plate, but he did a good job. The problem is he was horrible defensively in center field, and then you're watching pitches go right down the heart of the plate, and you're just looking. He stinks. Stinks. But the reason why I don't want the Luis Roberts of the world and I don't want the O'Neal Cruzes of the world in theory is I don't want to go after someone that I have to have a project with. This is a project. Let's get O'Neal Cruz to reach the potential that people thought he could be that he never really reached. Let's see if we can squeeze the juice out of the Luis Robert lemon. And yes, there are examples of other White Sox going to other organizations and it working. So maybe it's just a loser organization, and when you're in that stench, it's always going to be bad. It's always going to be awkward until you find yourself in a lineup with Bryce and Kyle. But then again, then the expectations rise. You must come in here and prove your worth to the point where, hey, we're trying to win a championship. Dave Dombrowski went out to get you to help fix this. You must fix this instantly. If he can't handle getting his head out of his rear end in Chicago on a team that nobody's paying attention to whatsoever, is it going to be successful here? Now, if you're worried about Kyle, if you're worried about Bryce, if you're worried about JT now, if you're worried about Nick, if you're worried about these hitters, Trey Turner, Otto Kemp with his two bombs, if you're worried about some of these guys, then maybe you fall asleep a bit at the wheel, if you will, when pitching to a Luis Robert, and then it makes it easier because there's less stress because it's all focused on the other guy. I don't know. But I want someone who's actively dominant, so I can plug and play someone who is on a tear I don't want to try and rebuild somebody's game. I just want to flat out get a star that is playing at an elite clip, even if they're on a bad team. I want to make sure I acquire someone who's already feeling great about themselves, who can help inspire others. If you bring in Suarez and he's hitting 36 bombs and he comes in day one and hits 2, he comes in and we're playing at CBP and his music plays for the first time and he hits a double in the gap, and like there is something to that. And you know that it's like, all right, like this guy is here to play. This guy is here to ball. This guy is here to win a championship, and he is here to ignite a fire. I think it just goes a long way when it's already someone established playing with their hair on fire compared to the rebuild concept of an individual player. That's the way I would lean into this. Friday, Taiwan Walker. You won a game with Taiwan Walker starting. So you win a game. He goes 5 2/3, no walks, a couple of homers though. So I think he did well enough. You know, he almost goes 6 innings, right? So he almost goes 6 innings with 3 earned runs. He was an out away from a quality start. Take that for what it is. I can't believe we're still pitching Taiwan Walker, but he was out there, and Turner had 4 hits. JT had a homer. Schwarbombs, you had 2 of them. You scored 12 runs. But you win a game with Taiwan Walker, and you lose a game with Zack Wheeler. I just can't believe that he was that out of sync. It is so out of the norm. It's not even funny. And just to give you a couple of his most recent game logs, not that box score watching tells the full story, because I think he's actually done a decent job of staying within the game when it's not as comfortable of a game for him. But on July 12th at San Diego, 6 innings, 4 earned runs. And then in Boston, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, but allowed 7 hits. See, again, that doesn't feel that bad. But think about it. Zack Wheeler in 3 starts now hasn't been able to go 7. This is Zack Wheeler. And I don't want to rain on anybody's parade, although I'm not sure how everyone's feeling currently at this time since we're recording after a loss. But the one thing that we always talk about is we are going to win. Because I'll take my shot with Zack Wheeler and Christopher Sanchez any day of the week. And I agree with that, right? Blanket statement, of course. No doubt about it, 1,000%. I'll go to war with the way Sanchez is pitching right now. I'll go to war with the way that Zack Wheeler throws. Of course. But it's not automatic. And this is just a reminder that it's not automatic. Well, we could win because of Wheeler. Well, it's not automatic. I do agree, though, that I feel way better with him on there than anybody else in the league. I feel great when he's on the bump facing another star pitcher that's on the bump for the other respected team. I like Wheels. I'll take my guy Wheels 100 out of 100 times. I want Wheels. But it's not as simple as, oh, well, you're going to win every game that Wheeler pitches in the playoffs. So if it's a 5-game series and him and Sanchez are throwing and you do the math, then we only need... No. It doesn't work that way. I wish it worked that way, trust me, because if it did, then I would be riding a really big high thinking about this group. And speaking of riding a high, every single time I look outside and see my lawn. That's right. My friends over at Green Lawn Fertilizing, they are the best. And they did something the other day. How many times have I stressed that they're a family? They're more than just a lawn service. They provide so much more than just that. They really do become a family. Well, the other day, out of nowhere, I get a box on my front step. I open it up, and it's a card. It's all sorts of books, Phillies books, and then a Flyers toy, and an Eagles bib, and a onesie, a Green Lawn Fertilizing onesie, and it was just from their team saying, hey, Brodes, congratulations on your second daughter. Really awesome. She's home now from the hospital, and we wanted to send you a package and just say congratulations to you and your family. I'm telling you, it's more than just, hey, we're going to make your lawn look pretty. We're going to make your lawn look gorgeous. They are a fantastic team. They communicate with you nonstop on everything that's going on with your treatments. A+. I can't stop opening up my backyard, my sliding backyard door, letting my dogs run around, taking fat sips of coffee, and just appreciating where my lawn is now because I never paid attention. I was stupid. I was dumb. But then I went to the experts, and they educated me with everything I needed to know, and I can't thank them enough. You should join as well. You can check out the link down below in the description, and that will get you 50% off your first 2 treatments. That's 50% off your first 2 treatments when you sign up with the link down below. It'll tell them that Brodes sent you. It is a no-brainer. Make sure you do that today. Okay, let's run to the Anytime hotline and hear from you, and we'll take some calls. Let's do it.
Guess you can't be mad at this series, but man, that third game was gettable, and it's a game they need to have, honestly, down the stretch. Battling out with the Mets, because the Mets are winning every game pretty much now. Wheeler didn't have his best stuff today. The offense was swinging at everything. Sosa can't be a starter. I mean, this guy's up 3-1 in a count, swinging at 2 garbage balls that would have been ball 4, put him on base to start an inning. Rojas honestly killed him because that ball from Trey probably gets through for a single, ties the game, and then Schwarber hits a sac fly right after. If he gets a bunt down or doesn't stare at 3 pitches. I mean, it's what you're supposed to do. He can't do it. But, I mean, good overall series. But, man, that third game was just – it was right there for him. And got to have those games down the stretch.
It was there for them. It would have been nice to add a cherry on top and actually sweep the series instead of just taking 2 out of 3 and then folding in the final frame. There is an adrenaline rush. There is some, not motivation, but there is momentum that you can grab onto when you take 3. And again, it doesn't matter how bad the Yankees are playing. That logo is powerful. Going into that stadium is powerful. And there's something that you can do with that, especially knowing your next opponent is extremely weak. So I just think it was a stealable game. But to your point, yeah, there were a lot of missed opportunities, very much so. Rojas, you need to be able to do something way better there. You're right about, what else did you say there, though, about the offense swinging at everything? And, man, there was something about that third game. You still had a chance to win it, but I don't know. Wow, this might be 3 straight shows where I lost my thinking. You said the Mets. Wheeler didn't have his best stuff today. I'm reading the transcript of the phone call because they type it out in words as well when you leave the voicemail. So I'm trying to see if I can. Can't bunt. Oh, come on, man. The offense. Oh, Sosa. That's what I wanted to chew on. The Sosa thing. He had some rough at-bats, but he also gave you that home run, him and Schwarber, but he went up 7-1 on Saturday to blow the game out and give you the separation you were looking for. Kyle, too. But, yeah, and Mundo Sosa, what a bizarre series for him because he did have the homer, then he got rocked as if Brandon Marsh is Ray Lewis in his prime trying to make a tackle over the middle of the NFL. Just a mean tackle with somebody in the slot with their head down, slot receiver kind of ordeal. That was nuts. Brandon Marsh needs to be better. He's annoying everybody now. Max Kepler has been annoying everyone for a reason. Now Rojas watching 3 straight pitches go down the heart of the plate is irking everyone's feelings. Now same with Sosa. See, that's why the whole Sosa needs to play more. Sosa could do this. Sosa could do that. Sosa's not an everyday player. We've been through this a bunch. He gives you a spark. He's a good utility player. He's a utility player. He's a good utility player. He's a utility player. Stop trying to get more out of it than what it really is. When you do that, it fails. But how about Bryce Harper? Because Edmundo Sosa threw his bat and threw his helmet. He was getting angry. He threw parts of his attire, if you will. And he said, "We don't do that." What? We don't do that. That's not us. Bryce, you do that shit all the time. And Alec Boehm does it all the time. Now, the ironic part is Sosa ended up hitting a bomb his next at-bat after Bryce spoke with him. But is there anything to Bryce showing his leadership there and having a vocal voice, which we question sometimes if he ever has been, considering Reese was known as that and Kyle is known as that right now? This is exactly what was said. Quote, talking to him helped calm me down a little bit, get back to my head and just refocus on what we should be doing next, Sosa said. And sometimes this game is just beautiful like that, and it gives you another chance. But I want to hear the Bryce part. Come on, man. I'm sorry for this. Okay, quote, that's not you. That's not how we do it here. That's what Harper said to Sosa. Crazy, isn't it? Flat out crazy. I've seen Bryce do it. Not so much this year, but I've seen Bryce get angry. And we know Bohm does it. So what do you mean we don't do that here? But what does this mean? Is this Bryce trying to set the tone and reestablish something with Bohm not in the lineup? Does this have anything to do with Nick Castellanos and his attitude on things? If he didn't like how trade rumors were being talked about, or his relationship with Topper and just frustration that boils, and that's not what we do here, and he's trying to clean up some stuff. I know I'm speculating on the Nick thing, but something smells fishy. We'll take another call here. This was Saturday night.
Brodes, right now it's 9-1 Phillies in the 7th inning, and I just want to call to say, what an awesome 2 games this has been to watch as a fan. My God, this offense has been awesome. Just flat out awesome to watch these last 2 games. Pretty incredible stuff, with Schwarber going deep twice yesterday. And then this offensive outburst, JT has been swinging a phenomenal bat recently. My God. This dude raised his average all the way up to, I think it's over 275 now, which is crazy, seeing as I think he was at like 240 something pretty recently. What an awesome last 2 games. Ranger battled his ass off today. He threw like 106 pitches, battled the whole game. Love that guy. He really pitched well and got up, I think, 8 strikeouts as well, which was awesome. But I just want to end with one more thing. I saw some trade rumors that the Phillies might trade Edmundo Sosa. Please, please, please do not trade this guy. This guy is our spark plug. This dude does everything. He is a spark for this team.
Interesting. Did not see this going this way. I did see some things thrown out there, but this is the time of the year where it gets chaotic and a lot of it is out of whack. But it depends. Like, I'm not going to not trade Edmundo Sosa if we're talking about getting a star, right? Now, I don't expect a star. There's going to be multiple moving parts to acquire a star. It wouldn't be Edmundo. It would be Edmundo Sosa plus Justin Crawford, Aiden Miller, or something like that. But if it takes an Edmundo Sosa to get a serious game changer, then that spark plug of the game changer is more significant than Edmundo Sosa is as a utility player. So, again, if you're trading Edmundo Sosa and it's in a package for a serious game changer, then I'm on board. If you're just swapping Edmundo Sosa and you're just getting your Carlos Estevez's of the world, then yeah, I mean, that would be stupid. That would be stupid. That would be very dumb. I wonder how they feel about Otto Kemp now, though. I think they're going to act as if Otto Kemp is the right-handed bat that they acquired at the deadline because he's still doing his thing, and now his power's coming, which would be a miscalculation, in my opinion. I like Otto Kemp. I really do. I think his story's awesome, and I think he's a good player for what it's worth. I think he's a good little player. But again, World Series, there's different levels to this, and I think Otto Kemp is doing everything in his power, but I need more. And I'm worried that they look at that as the bat. We'll see. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out with me. Talk to you on the next one.